The story begins with a plane flying over the dense Amazon jungle. Inside, our main character Justin is happily heading home with his friends. Everything feels normal, until suddenly, something unknown attacks. In an instant, the control system completely fails. The aircraft loses stability and starts dropping from the sky. Within moments, it crashes deep into the thick jungle. The impact is brutal. The back section of the plane breaks off and a girl is violently thrown out, sent flying far away from the wreck. As the plane keeps descending, one by one, people start getting flung out of it. Seeing this, panic erupts in. Everyone starts screaming in terror, and somehow, through all this chaos, the plane manages to land in the middle of the jungle. The crash was so horrific that tree branches pierce straight through the pilot's body. One girl died instantly the moment she was thrown out. Terrified, the others quickly rush out of the plane. But the danger isn't over yet. As soon as they step outside, a boy's head slams into the plane's wing. In the middle of all this chaos, their GPS tracker gets lost somewhere. Because of that, they end up completely stranded in the jungle. Their phones are useless here. There's no signal at all. They can't even send a message to anyone out. And now, the real horror is about to begin. Suddenly, Harvey hears a strange sound coming from deep within the jungle. He stops, listening carefully. After a moment, they realize it's coming from tribal people living nearby, somewhere close. At that moment, Harvey thinks that if they can get help from them, they might be able to reach the camp again through the river route, and from there, find a way to get rescued. Now, the problem is, these tribal people can't understand their language. Because of that, they suddenly launch a direct attack. During the attack, Harvey's girlfriend gets killed, and the rest of them are knocked unconscious by poisonous arrows. After some time, Justin regains consciousness. As soon as he wakes up, he finds himself inside a wooden. Tribal people are sitting both in front of him and behind him. Terrified, Justin starts trying to untie the bindings on his hands. But the moment he does, one of the tribesmen yells at him. As soon as the boat reaches the shore, the rest of the tribe comes into view. All of them have painted their bodies in red. After a while, the captured students are taken to the tribe. When they arrive, they are welcomed in a very strange way. Everyone starts touching them in an unusual manner. Then, when the students notice skeletons hanging from trees and human heads displayed on bamboo stakes, they become even more terrified. Finally, when they reach the tribal huts, an old man slowly walks toward them, leaning on a stick. This old man is the leader of the tribe, and every single member of the tribe follows his commands. The old tribal leader strikes the ground with his staff. Instantly, all the cannibal tribespeople fall silent. Then, the chief walks toward the students and begins examining them. After that, he starts speaking in his own language. But the students can't. Confused, they begin looking. After some time, they are taken away. Then, all of them are locked inside. Outside the cage, a crowd of tribespeople gather. All of them stare at the students the way animals are watched before being slaughtered in a butcher house. But the overweight boy is the most unfortunate of them all. He is kept separately in another place. Then, an old woman she brings a bowl filled with a strange liquid and makes him drink it. In the very next moment, he is pushed down onto it. The rope around his hands is cut off, and several strong tribesmen hold him down tight. Then, the tribal chiefs. Without hesitation, he does something extremely disturbing, leaving the boy in. After that, he continues in a brute. Soon, another tribesman joins in, and the situation becomes even more. At this point, it becomes clear that the boy has been turned into part of their ritual, and ultimately, the tribespeople were handling his body the way a butcher prepares meat. They carefully began cooking it over a clay stove. Before long, the smell of cooked meat spread throughout the entire village. The children began to drool at this. On the other side, Justin and the others became even more frightened watching all of this. Now, they are fully convinced that they have become prey for cannibals. But among them, Harvey remains completely calm. He takes out his phone and tries to find a signal so he can get help, but it doesn't work. The tribespeople are busy eating, but this is not ordinary food. It is human meat. These tribespeople also raise pigs and cows. Besides that, they keep humans captive as well. At night, the cannibals quickly fall asleep. Because they live far away from civilized society, there is no electricity here. To keep the darkness away, they keep fires burning. Sensing an opportunity, the college students begin planning their escape. One of the boys says, if they can find their GPS tracker, they might be able to get help. But Harvey responds, that won't help. These tribes are scattered everywhere, and as soon as they finish eating all the meat from the fat boy, they will come after us. Hearing this, Justin becomes it was Harvey who brought him here in the first, and now, because of Harvey, their lives are in serious danger. But they cannot just sit here and wait for death. Determined to escape, one of the girls climbs on top of the cage. However, the moment she sticks her head outside, a tribal guard shoots a poisonous arrow. She immediately collapses unconscious right there. The next morning, a young tribal boy approaches Justin. The boy's attention is drawn to the locket hanging around Justin's neck. Inside the locket, there is a small whistle, and the boy keeps staring at it. Justin realizes that if he can befriend the boy, they might find a way to escape. So Justin begins playing the whistle in front of. Hearing the sound, the tribal black butcher arrives with his companion. He orders all the girls to be taken out. They are then brought to the same place where the fat boy had been cut. After that, the clothes are removed from the girls' body. The tribal chief begins inspecting everyone once again. After some time, 2 of the girls are sent back into the cage. But Justin is taken. A little while later, heavy rain begins. As the rain intensifies, all the tribe's people, except the guard watching over them, retreat in. Seeing this as an opportunity, one of the girls inside the cage starts thinking about escape. At that moment, someone plays a phone ringtone to distract the guard's attention. Taking advantage of the distraction, the girl climbs on top of the cage and begins her escape. She keeps running until she reaches a river, where she notices She quickly rushes toward it and tries to escape from there. After the rain stops, the tribe's people bring Justin back again. Fortunately, they have not harmed. However, strange red and white markings have been painted all over her body. Justin's friends cannot understand what this means. Then, they notice a tribal girl whose legs are tightly bound. The moment they see her, everything becomes clear. The tribe is preparing to marry Justin off as quickly as possible. Not only that, they are about to do things to Justin that they could never even imagine. Hearing this makes Justin even more. Harvey then says that Justin should consider herself lucky, because those who are married into the tribe are usually not killed. At that moment, the bearded boy tells Harvey to keep his mouth shut. He then reassures Justin, saying that they will escape from here very soon. Just then, several tribesmen approach the cage carrying containers of food. While taking the food, Justin's eyes once again fall on that tribal boy. Justin plays the flute again, and once again, the boy listens carefully to the sound of the flute. Harvey then jokes, saying that these are useless attempts. After that, he starts eating the strange food placed in the container. Meanwhile, another girl inside the cage refuses to eat, because she is, but, unable to bear the hunger any longer. She finally begins eating the pizza. However, after finishing the food, when the girl notices the tattoo on the container, she realizes that the human flesh they were eating belonged to one of their own group members, someone who had tried to escape. Overwhelmed with pain, the girl slits her own throat. The brutal reality is that the tribe had already butchered their friend and prepped her for the feast. Before the rest of the group could process the horror, she was already gone. But they aren't about to let her death be in vain. Working in secret, they pry her mouth open and use a stick to cram a massive dose of hallucinogenic leaves deep into her stomach. Their plan is a desperate gamble. If the cannibals eat her, the entire tribe will get wasted. The natives don't suspect a thing. When the butcher arrives, he hacks the body into pieces. They toss her head straight into the clay oven. A short while later, the scent of cooked meat fills the air. But as soon as the tribe starts feasting, everyone begins acting completely out of their minds, as if they've never hit a high this intense before. Seizing the moment, the bearded guy, Justin, slip outside. But just as the other guy is about to make his break for it, Harvey suddenly strikes him with a poisoned dart. Harvey ruthlessly sacrifices him to ensure he isn't the tribe's first meal. Justin realizes there's no time to save him. With no other choice, they make a desperate run for their lives. Later, the unconscious boy wakes up. Opening his eyes, he spots 2 natives sitting in front of him, still laughing bizarrely from the drug. Seeing this, he figures he can quietly sneak away. But the cannibals developed a craving for human flesh. One of them suddenly grabs his arm and starts chewing. Terrified, the boy scrambles to escape, but the surrounding tribesmen instantly pounce on him. Within moments, his body is torn apart and divided among the natives. Meanwhile, Justin and the bearded guy make it to the riverbank. They believe they are finally about to reach the rescue team, but while crossing the water, Justin loses his footing and plunges into the fast-flowing river. Justin's screams send the bearded guy into a panic. Thinking fast, he uses a long stick to pull Justin back out. Once Justin is pulled up, they head deeper into the jungle. They eventually reach the exact spot where their plane crashed. There, they find dead bodies strung up on bamboo poles. The corpses have been left to bake in the sun, slowly turning into dried meat for the cannibals. The horrifying sight leaves Justin shaking with terror. The bearded guy heads straight for the wreckage. He finally finds his GPS tracker, but the battery is drained, leaving the device dead. Suddenly, Justin hears a phone ringing. Desperate, they start searching the pockets of the nearby hanging corpses. They finally locate the phone inside Harvey's girlfriend's pocket. But just as a wave of relief washes over them, the natives, who have been hunting them down like starving dogs, arrive right at the scene. Despite their struggle to escape, they find themselves back in captivity. While the tribal women prep Justin for a wedding ceremony, the bearded guy is tied to a wooden post. That's when the butcher decides to inflict the most brutal punishment imaginable. He systematically breaks every bone in the man's body before slathering sticky, green clay all over him. The sweet scent of the clay acts like a magnet, drawing in swarms of nearby ants. Long, countless ants crawl up the post and swarm his body, tearing into his skin without mercy. The guy screams in agony. Meanwhile, Justin's wedding prep is finished, and the tribal chief approaches him with a small knife. Just as he's about to begin the ritual, a deafening roar of shouts erupts from the tribesmen outside. Hearing the commotion, the chief abruptly halts the ceremony. Just then, a tribesman comes sprinting in, carrying a severed human head. It turns out the rescue team has finally reached the jungle. This means fresh prey has walked into the cannibals' territory. The moment he hears this news, the tribal chief orders an immediate attack. Within moments, the entire village empties out. Only a handful of women and children are left behind. Among them is that same little native boy, the one who heard Justin playing the flute earlier. Seizing the opportunity, the boy quietly cuts Justin loose. While making his escape, Justin frantically tries to free the bearded guy as well, but he begs Justin to just take the phone and run. But Justin refuses to abandon him. Out of nowhere, the little native boy knocks the bearded guy out cold. Without hesitation, he then slits his throat. In this tragic, gruesome way, he meets his terrifying end. Witnessing this, Justin breaks down, but she knows it's still not safe to stay. As she escapes, Harvey begs her to cut him loose too, but Justin leaves the traitor behind and pushes forward. The native boy leads the way, guiding her far out of the tribal territory. With the kid's help, Justin makes a fast break to get out of the jungle. But before parting ways, she gives the boy her small flute locket as a gift. However, while crossing the river, the tribesmen spot her. Just then, a jaguar appears right in front of Justin. The natives consider when they see that the jaguar doesn't attack her, they take it as a sign from the beast and call off the pursuit. Reaching the other side of the river, Justin walks straight into an intense battle between the natives and the rescue team. Because the rescue team is armed with modern weapons, the natives are being wiped out one by one. Justin suddenly finds herself trapped in the middle of this terrifying crossfire. Desperate, she pulls out her phone and holds it high for the rescue team to see, proving she isn't part of the tribe so they won't shoot her. Catching sight of the mobile phone in her hand, the commander orders his men to escort her to safety. Eventually, the soldiers cease their attack on the natives, but right before boarding the helicopter, an officer asks her if there are any other survivors. Justin lies, saying everyone else is dead. After that, she is sent safely back home. Meanwhile, Harvey is left forever trapped among the cannibals. Soon, The news of the plane crash and her survival spreads everywhere, and Justin becomes famous, but she never tells anyone that her friends didn't die in the crash, but were actually killed in the tribal attack. Justin tells everyone that if she hadn't received help from those natives, she too would have died in the Amazon jungle after the crash. She says this so the tribe's population doesn't be. After an interview, while Justin is lying down, she receives a call from Harvey. Harvey's sister says a man can be seen in the satellite images. This man's entire body is painted black, and his face matches Harvey's. This means Harvey has become the tribe's Black Butcher, and with this suspense, the movie's story